started back like around 4 years back. Like in Odisha, during 2017, there was a pest attack that couldn't be recognized by the government, even by the other agricultural departments, universities, etc. And that destroyed about 1.68 lakh hectares of land, covering around 6 to 7 districts of Odisha. And during that time, like the crop harvest, like it got reduced drastically, and later on, a lot of farmer suicides came up. So my uncle, like my parental side, they are farmers in particular, and they in our own village we saw multiple farmer suicides, and that was a concerning side. And like before that, like in around 9th, I was doing other innovations like in some transportation and other things. So agriculture was a sector that I was personally motivated kind of, because I had I am seeing my family and my basic background that they are involved in the farming background. So then the thought came like, why is it happening? And then dive deeper into it, like what is exactly the problem about, and then came up with, okay, this is there is a niche area that very few people touched, that is about detection of plant diseases in very less time. At the same time, it should be cost efficient to the farmers of India. So there only like we came up with we started doing research, like how things can be carried forward and all. So yeah, that's how like the problem statement got to be done.
Right. And there must have been a lot of issues that you would have faced, when coming up with the prototype alone. Yeah. So can you just tell us about that?
Like the journey, as I mentioned, like it was a very niche area that very less people was working upon, because if you see, there are two divisions: pests and plant diseases. Pests are something like that are macroscopic and that can be detected by naked eyes, and that won't be a major issue, and it can be detected at least in various forms. Like there are other cameras, drones, robots, etc. that can detect them. But what about the plant diseases? Plant diseases are something that are microscopic, that are fungal attacks, microbial attacks that are completely unknown to the farmers, and that happens. Farmer only gets to know about the attack only when some part of the crop is lost. So the basic problem was that how to come up with a solution that could detect the microscopical objects that are actually destroying the crop fields, because and that was the first issue that we came up with. And we saw there were researchers in US, China and Russia in a collaboration. They were working on this particular thing, took some reference how they are working with. They hadn't even came up with a complete solution for during that time, and they took some references, and according to some Indian climate and Indian agriculture department's research, came up with this niche area that how this problem can be tackled out in a certain way. Like we use some thermal imaging mechanism to detect this detect microbiological organisms that are actually attacking the crops. And the first issue got solved, that okay, we have a plan that okay, there is thermal imaging that we can actually get through some certain solution. So the next problem that we came up with was thermal cameras in India aren't only made in the defense organizations like DRDO, BARC and other organizations like ISRO, but private organizations were manufacturing small thermal based cameras. So we had to order thermal cameras from outside, like from mostly we shipped it from US, and we coded it with some microcontrollers using programming. We integrated AI and ultimately came up with a solution after spending around 70 to 80,000 in just the prototype. So funding was a major issue. Luckily, due to some certain recognitions that time from Intel and other certain organizations, funding issue got solved, because like I started participating in events just to get two things. One is fund and one is the connections and the network. So that helped me to understand like, okay, the funding is not a major issue. I can start my prototype, and I created the whole prototype. I tested it in few of the districts. Like I started it in my own village, kept the full prototype running for 6 months, a season, like a crop season completely for 6 months, and got some better results. And after testing that, it was a chain of mouth. The villages that actually used it, they started talking about the product to the local villages in other nearby villages, and they also started to ask you, okay, can we use the prototype, and can we do such, can we use the product in particular. But during that time I didn't had that number of prototypes ready, because each prototype was about 70 to 80,000, and I just created 3 prototypes ready during that time. And that's how one more problem came, that people started expecting me that they want more products and I don't have it. So luckily, during that time in 2019, I won a lot of recognitions from different events, from ISRO, Intel, NASA, etc. And these all recognitions gave me some huge funds, at the same time huge connections. So during a meeting in the Maharashtra government, we had a talk that if this project can be implemented or not. But once the talk got initiated, COVID came and couldn't implement it, because all the funds that were invested in startups and other things got transferred to COVID funds. Right. So that was again a major setback that I faced. But last year again, Intel gave me again a breakthrough. They created their own first event, called Intel AI Global Impact Festival, and it was a global event for the people those were creating such innovations using AI and creating a social impact. So that was an opportunity to get a global award, either get a global awards and get a certain highly recognized network. At the same time, you can implement it with different ministries and other things, because you are getting such a high recognition. So again, I didn't expect it that we'll get through, because it was a completely closed-based nominations. Intel will nominate people, but it was not a public people that they can put their names and other things. So applied there, we won the global award. During that time, after getting the global award, there was a whole set of the graph increased drastically from a set 0 to again to 100, because COVID gave a complete setback. But during that time, Intel supported in various ways. They had the various communities like AI for Youth and other communities that helped in technical mentorship. Recently, what we did to the solution was we created the solution, but this was again a really costly product for a farmer to buy. We reduced it to somewhere around 12,000 to 13,000. But still, for an Indian farmer to afford this product it's a big deal. So we had to figure out something, some different ways. So we integrated satellite technology in the whole service, in the whole product. And what we did is we changed the whole solution to a small service of rupees 75 per acre. Any farmer that wants to use this product can just pay 75 per month, and for a 1 acre of land he can use the service. And at least that became affordable, and people started we got positive feedbacks. But this is all possible because we changed the technology in a very drastic way, and couldn't have been possible if maybe we hadn't won the Intel Global Impact Festival. Because after that, Intel played a really very vital role in mentoring, in funding, etc., and gave us really greater connections. So slowly, all the problems got solved this year, and we are just right now waiting and validating some of the major stakeholders. We are working with Digital Impact Square, a TCS Foundation initiative. We are working with them, understanding how we can actually implement it by the next year. So all the issues got solved in this last 4 years, but yeah, it was a cool journey.
Sounds very interesting though. So I just wanted to know that is it you alone, or you have a group of co-founders, or friends, or somebody who must have contributed to Kishanu in some way or the other?
Yeah, so a lot of people got connected to this product. It started solo, then few of the friends, there is a girl called Rishikesh Panda. She is right now is a Google Women Scholar in some particular event by Google, and she helped a lot in this to put the technological side of it. I was doing my research side and technological side, and she gave up a lot technological aspect to it. And then a few people after some years joined up, just because we wanted to understand the market. wanted to understand what is exactly happening in the field by various tools, design thinking and other tools. So a similar minded people from different events, like wherever we participated, we brought up a good connection and good network, and slowly these people started connecting. And not only they just got involved in this project, but after successfully completing this project, we did a lot of other innovations, like that other innovations got recognized by Microsoft and Ascom, etc. So this network helped us to build more other change makers. Like right now, we created a team of around 54 people. They are enabled with 8 or 9 projects that they are working with some industries and other things. So I enabled 8 people in this team, and these 8 people are enabling more few students. So we started creating different change makers. So yeah, that's how the thing has.
Oh, that's wonderful. You actually started a chain of change makers,
yeah.
which is wonderful. So you are currently in college, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what are your future plans? Like, you want to do your masters, or you want to, focus all of your energy on Kishano?
Practically speaking, like Kishano got over. Like this year, like we are not anymore working on it. Like we just completed the solution, we ended it, and we are waiting if for a government collaboration. We'll just have the patent and we'll try to sell it to the government if possible. So we'll end it in that way. And other what we have been doing is, like, we have been involved with whatever projects or competitions that are highly stable. Like for example, last year I had been the Indian captain for NASA Rover Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So after a year, I got an opportunity to represent India at London Tech Week. Sorry. So what we did is, like, we worked up with multiple innovations just to explore fields. Like we explored fields of various fields like robotics. We explored field of design thinking. We explored field of hackathons, etc., just to enhance our knowledge and enhance our network base. So the plans, if we can say that, what is exactly our plan? We are not fully focused. I'm not fully focused on entrepreneurship, nor I'm fully focused on corporate. I just want something to serve the community, whatever it takes for. And right now, currently, I'm focused on tech policy making. Like it's a bit new, but we are focusing on how the policy making can create wonders in the technological side. Like how this technologies can be used, how this technology can bring some certain changes in the society, etc. So, if possible, if I get a chance, like anywhere I can be a tech policy maker, then I will love to. Till that time, I'll just create product innovations for whatever problems that I see. So that's how that's the plan, basically.
You told me that your inspiration was, seeing the community around you suffer because of the crop damage that they were going through. So apart from that, what made you, sure that, okay, I want to get into innovation per se? Not just, you said that you are looking for innovations in future in any sector that you would be willing to. So why innovation and why not research?
I can answer it as like, in the last 4 years, I have been my own mentor because I coming from a lower middle class background family and a good scholar. Everyone expected me to just be well in academics and not to explore other fields. So everyone was like that. That was what my major issue was in the primary, like in class 8, 9th and all. So during that time, I started guiding myself that, okay, this is what I can learn. I started experimenting with various stuffs. Started exploring. Fortunate enough that whatever fields I explored, I got somewhat successful. But that's what, like, it also gave me some certain failures, and that started helping me to learn that what is wrong and what is right. And started to show me that, okay, this is what is my strength and this is what is my weakness. So the last 4-5 years that I have been working in all the fields, like I started my journey in robotics, then I entered research and development in core research, that you can say. After core research, like Kishano was starting when we are just researching about how we can detect microbial attacks in the crop fields directly, it was a core research because there we need to experiment with a set of crop area where a particular bacteria or a microbe will be injected in that particular crop field and what is happening. So it's like completely core research. But after getting the core research, we had to go for like product development, what we can innovate with technology, using technology and etc. I went to that kind of phase. After that kind of phase, after that was involved, I went for somewhat like management and other things, because that time I was dealing with corporates and other government-based organizations just to take this to a next level.
You mentioned that since 8th standard you started, self-mentoring yourself.
Yeah.
So how did that happen, and what did you start mentoring yourself in precisely?
I was coding since my 6th grade. Like I started coding 6th, 7th, 8th. Like I was a silent coder. Like I was learning stuff. Didn't experiment much, just because no one was there to guide you. Okay, what will you do for this particular code? I just knew, like I was that kid like who knows codes, but I don't know what is the application of it. So in 8th grade, I got a opportunity to participate in a certain event in IIT Bhubaneswar, in robotics event, the tech fest that colleges usually do. And it was basically we created a robot using whatever previous knowledge we had, and we participated over there, and we won. So that gave me something that okay, we won. Let's try something bigger. So from a literally a state event, I went for an international event directly. Participated in an international robotics event in Delhi, where 33 plus countries participated. So I ended up being 4th over there. Unfortunately, like just for few of my mistakes, I couldn't win. But a 8th grader going to an international event and getting at least 4th rank internationally was a big deal for me, and even for some people during that time. And that's how I met a set of people, like the robotics team that I was talking about. So that time, like I started learning that okay, what are my network? What are the people I'm connected to, and what are they exactly doing? Understanding their work, like how they have been reaching there, and what is the process of it? Like learning from your peers.
You started coding from 6th standard, and so where did you learn? Like you went to some coaching class or YouTube completely.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people go that route, but again, like you mentioned, right, there's knowledge, but you can't actually implement the knowledge that you gain from platforms like YouTube, where there's immense knowledge, but okay, now where do I work? What do I create with this knowledge?
Yeah.
So similar kind of an issue which you also faced.
True.
But you eventually found your calling, and through mentorship and everything, it all just seemed to fall in place.
Yeah, exactly. Like the code thing. Yeah, I started my journey with coding, but sarcastically, I'm not currently coding in any of the projects. Like I'm just taking the management of the research side, and the other team, the tech team, is there. They are completely coding. So some people ask like, what happened to your coding knowledge, and what did it to go? But I understood that whenever you lead a project or lead a team, it's not about you only should have your management skills. You should only have your research skills, but you should have every fundamental knowledge on everything, so that you can guide your team whenever it's necessary. At the same time, you can have a check on them that are they working perfectly or they're in some wrong track. Otherwise, sometimes like if the person who is leading the team, that person doesn't know anything about finance, and they're working on some finance management projects and something, whatever the other team says, the lead has to completely understand, and then he has to accept it, rather than positive criticism and anything. He'll just accept the facts and he will just go on. So that's what again I understood. We need some fundamentals, and if anyone asks what about happened to the code, I at least can see, I can understand whatever things has been happening around me, and I can at least say if it's wrong and if it's right. So,
right.
That's how it is.
I completely agree with your ideology on this. I mean, you have to, as a team lead, you have to take care of all of the departments in your team, and you also at the same time have to put in your expert knowledge where it is required. So which is like, I agree, totally agree with you. And if I may ask, what you're pursuing your graduation, right? So what is your core competency?
My core competency right now, I'm at Vellore Institute of Technology, and core competency is BTech Mechatronics and Automation.
Electronics. Oh, wow.
Mechatronics and Automation.
Mechatronics. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So, but again, there is a side that I might change the college. So, like, I have applied for university, like, for some other university. I'm just waiting for the admission letter. If that comes, I may change my whole college. Same branch, but another different college. So there is some possibilities going on.
Okay, that's a lot happening for you on the educational front as well.
Yeah, true.
So it was really lovely talking to you, Rishikesh. I sure learned so many things from you, and you are absolutely a gem to the community that you are a part of. And we hope you continue your innovations, and we see breakthroughs with your name.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.